barely hear each other. Larry Sharpe has traveled the country and has personally visited every county in New York State, listening to people's concerns. The Sharpe Way is a show where answers, solutions, and common ground can be found so that together we can forge a new way forward. The Sharpe Way is the way to mutual respect, where no one has to convert to be heard, because you can be as liberal or as conservative as you want, as long as you aren't forcing your beliefs on others. Welcome to Sharpe Way Radio.
Oh, yes, it is Larry Sharpe. Sharpe Way Radio on the Voice of Liberty in the amazing Western New York. 585-346-3000 is the number to call to chat with me after the first break. Well, I've been thinking about different stuff here. I've been thinking about my state a lot. I went to a different state last weekend. I went to Michigan, looked around to the places there a little bit, rethought about my state and what my amazing governor, what my queen, Kathy, first of her name, banisher of conservatives, what she was talking about and has been talking about. She's fighting for us. That's what she says. She is always proud and working hard. She says that. She says she has a right to protect us. She's protecting us. She's helping us. She tells me that all the time. I'm sure if you're in New York, you hear that all the time. And I say to myself, okay, if that's true, if she is fighting so hard, if she is so proud, what is she achieving? And then, what is she so proud of? Well, recently, there has been a report, a mainstream report from U.S. News and World Report. Okay, sounds good. And it rated all of the states. Well, this has got to be great for us because Kathy Hochul, our queen, our lady and mistress, she has been telling us how hard she's been fighting and how proud she is. Well, we got to be like number one in a bunch of things, or at least like top five, right? At least in like everything, right? I mean, we're New York. She told us this. She wouldn't lie to us, would she? Well, maybe. Because when we look at the 8 things that they looked at crime and corrections, economy, education, physical stability, healthcare, infrastructure, the natural environment, and opportunity. Well, we are rocking and rolling, right? Where do you think we ranked in all these things? Well, overall, New York State overall, you would say probably ranked what? 2, 3, maybe 4, right? 22. Overall, 22. If you take away some of the BS ones, less than that. I always tell you that New York ranks as mediocre. 22 is pretty mediocre. 25 is average. And we spend the most. Let me be very clear on something. I talk to my friends often here in New York City. Larry, we'd be better if we just spent more money on this, if there was more funding for that, if we just had the government control this, if we just had the government control that. I hear it all the time. Well, all these things, the government controls all of them. We have tons of funding. New York State has the highest budget per capita across the country. No one's higher than us. We spend the most on education. No one spends more than us. The most on healthcare. No one spends more than us. Over 50% of us are on Medicare and Medicaid. So most of us are on government healthcare. Wait a minute. All right. So what do we rank on crimes and corrections? What do we rank on that? We ranked 24. That's not good. Because we actually ranked higher. They broke it down into correction, meaning prisons and public safety. And we ranked higher on corrections, 23. But public safety, meaning actually you and me, safe in the streets, we ranked 30th. Yes, 30th. Out of 50 states, we were below average. But I thought she told us. She did. She said safety was number one, didn't she? She said she's protecting her people. That's what she said. But we ranked 30th in public safety. That's not good. That's not like out of 3,000. That's out of 50. Again, this is a mainstream. This is not like some friend. This is her people, the establishment. And that's what we ranked 30th. I say, wow, Larry, that sounds horrible. Well, okay, that's fine. But how about the economy? Hasn't she told us that she's been putting money into what Micron and all that stuff? She's given us all the money she's putting into, right? So we had to rank what? Number 3, right? 2, right? 41. 41. Every 5 minutes, you hear her talking about how much money she's putting into our economy. We ranked 41. Yeah. Why? What do I tell you about all the time in New York when it comes to business? In every single case, our business growth only comes from government intervention. That's it. I'm not joking. Why does she scream about Micron? Because we have to bribe people to come here. When it comes to being business friendliness, we rank 49th or 50th. I'm not, depending on who grades us. When it comes to economic freedom, we rank 49th or 50th, depending upon who grades us. And we wonder why our economy is garbage. Yes. 41. In growth, 44th out of 50. I go, Larry, that sounds terrible. Is that partially the reason for this crime problem we have? Yes. 2 parts. You know who ranks high? Some of the highest states? One of them, New Hampshire. New Hampshire has the most lax gun laws, which means, by the way, the best gun laws in the entire country. Lowest in crime. New Hampshire. That's weird. They have growth all over. They have growth and they have less gun laws. And they rank higher than us. In fact, in this entire thing, of all the states, Utah ranks number 1. New Hampshire, number 2 overall. Yeah, both of them. Friendly to business, friendly to landlords, and very good, meaning weak, gun laws. Weird about how that works. When you have less gun laws, that you have less crime. Weird, when you're friendlier to business, you have a better economy. Isn't that nuts? It sounds crazy. But here it is, a mainstream organization saying what I've been saying for 9 years. I keep saying this. I keep yapping. People keep not paying attention. And now the mainstream goes, yeah, that Larry guy, he's kind of right. Everything he's saying is correct. New York's a disaster. It's an embarrassment. You can say, okay, Larry, that's fine. Okay, all right. You're acting, by the way, top 5 states, Utah, New Hampshire, Idaho, Minnesota, Nebraska. Now, I like Utah. I went to Utah and went to a gun range and shot just on my driver's license. And they gave me a veterans discount because I showed them my USMC tattoo. How can I not love Utah? How can I not love Utah? New Hampshire, great. I was considering moving there. Still kind of am. Idaho, too. Boise's looking better and better for me. So, yeah, not a bad idea. I get those places completely. Minnesota, probably a little too cold for me. Nebraska, maybe. So those places all sound great. So, yeah. They go, okay, Larry, doesn't matter. You're talking all your trash. But I'm telling you, Larry, education has got to be great. Okay, you got me on crime. You got me on economy. You cannot get me an education. We spend the most on education in the entire country. We talk about it all the time. That's all we do. We got to rank like number 1 or 2 in that, right? You already know. I don't have to say this. You already know. 17th. 17th. And we spend, I'm not joking, over $35,000 per student in New York State. We rank 17th. We should be embarrassed by that. Sadly, we're not. But we should be embarrassed by that. 35,000. And our higher education is actually now worse. It used to be it was better. That K through 12 was kind of bad, and higher education was saving us. Now it's even our colleges are garbage. Even our colleges now are garbage. So we're losing on that too. Nothing but bad. This is terrible. I see it again and again and again. We spend that much money. And what do I get when I tell people this? You know, New York State's struggling when it comes to education. I get the same thing. Well, it's because funding, and it's funding and stuff. That's what it is. It's funding. And I say $35,000 per student per year is enough for you? The most in the entire country. In fact, with the exception of Luxembourg, the most in the world. Luxembourg's basically a bank surrounded by a country. So I don't know if I count them. But if you don't count Luxembourg, which I don't. Sorry, Luxembourgites. We're the most. Spend, spend, spend. Fail, fail, fail. That's New York State. What's the answer? There is none. Keep spending. Keep failing. Am I wrong? You can tell me. 585-346-3000. Larry Sharpe here on the Voice of Liberty, Shortwave Radio, back with your calls and your chat after the break.
For the last couple of years, Joe Robach has been telling you about Flower City Collision in Henrietta, saying that it was started by a veteran along with his son, Zach. Hi, my name is Greg Sadwick, and I am that veteran. I want to thank the WYSL listeners for their support over the last couple of years. During those years, not only have I experienced the gratification of providing you the best repairs and customer service, it has also allowed me the opportunity to see my son develop as a young professional. So remember, Flower City Collision for your collision repair needs. And thank you for supporting our locally owned family business.
Most banks offer you a choice. Or maybe it would be better to say they demand a choice. Technology so you can bank like you want to, or relationships so you can get advice when you need it. But when you choose to bank with Tompkins, you can have it all. Powerful technology and the power of a face-to-face talk about your future. Because both are part of the best banking relationship you'll ever have. Tompkins.
Larry, when we come back, I'm going to play a funny Three Stooges clip by Curly. And when you hear it, you'll immediately know why I'm doing it. It's kind of like a good motto for Hochul's way of handling New York.
Or the already famous Mount Rushmore line of merch depicting Mount Rushmore style are for worst presidents. Of course, you know who is front and center up on that mountain. WYSL official items make perfect gifts, or they're a great way for you to make a personal statement. Locally produced and sold only in the WYSL store at WYSL1040.com.
Sharpway Radio on the Voice of Liberty.
Certainly. If at first you don't succeed, keep on sucking till you do succeed.
It's not actually bad. That's kind of what we're doing, isn't it? Absolutely. Larry Sharpe here on the Voice of Liberty, Shortwave Radio, 585-346-3000. Look, I know I brought up a lot regarding New York State. I always do. This is a New York State show. I talk about New York State a lot here. I absolutely love my state. But boy, are we failing. And we keep throwing money at it, and there's never any answer. And that's the problem. There's never an answer. Education failing. The most money. But hold on. Fiscal stability. You're going to say, wait, Larry. Fiscal stability. We got to be good on that one. You're actually right. We actually rank third. And you might say, wait a minute. How? Larry, how can we are in debt. We have a deficit. We have no plans for fixing anything. How in the world Can we have
Gary.
physical security, physical stability? How can we? I'm going to tell you why. Because written in New York State law is if we can't pay our pensions and such, the taxpayers pay it. I wish I was joking. So by law, you, New Yorker, have to make sure New York is stable, because if it isn't, we just tax you more. I wish that was a joke. That's literally in our laws. That's in our Constitution. So my pension doesn't work. Write more money, write a check, give me more money. Of course you're stable, because it's in the law that the people have to pay for it. That's great. So Larry, you're going to spend how much money? Yes. Will it work? I don't know. Why are you not worried? Well, because if it doesn't work, the taxpayer just gives me more. Oh, that's a great plan. It is. They're not wrong. So in that one, we are killing it. We're number 3 in that one. Why? It's off your back. I wish I was joking yet again. I'm not. Let me grab a call if I could. This is Gary. How are you, sir?
I'm doing well, Larry. I hope you're having a good day. And
I
boy,
am.
you are telling some truth.
Yes,
I wish
indeed, my friend.
I wish you were wrong too, but I know you touched on the gun control when you first started out. And what we've found working through GOA New York and Scope and all these groups trying to fight these gun laws is that the groups that are supporting that, the Everytown, the Giffords, the Moms Demand Action, and all these auxiliary groups are basically at the lower grassroots level. You got to call them useful idiots. At the upper level, they are working through Mike Bloomberg and the World Economic Forum because they know that as the truth comes out about what's been done to us as citizens for the last 60 years, and it's coming out, they don't want the lawful gun-owning population that has almost 400 million firearms in private hands. They don't want us armed. They are attributing their own attitude towards the gun owners. We've worked through the courts. We have written letters. We have done everything according to what's left of our law. And now they know that, you know, they've left us basically either they have to reform, repent, and come back to a moral code of some kind, or they're going to force people to use the last box of freedom. And that's what they're after. That's why they'll sacrifice all these kids
I like
in the
that.
city.
The last box of freedom. For those of you who don't know what Gary's talking about, there's 3 different boxes of freedom. Do you want to bring them
4.
up, Gary? Oh, there's 4? I thought it was 3. Okay, go ahead. Tell me.
You got the soapbox, which is your First Amendment.
Yep.
You've got the ballot box, your right to vote.
Yep.
If you have grievances, you have the jury box.
Oh, I forgot the jury box. Thank you. That's the one I forgot. Thank you, Gary.
You're welcome. And in New York, that one's been corrupted too. The other 2 are long gone.
Yep.
And the last one, of course, is the cartridge box. And that's reserved for a tyrannical government. So
absolutely,
they've pushed us to this point, and because the law-abiding gun owners don't commit crimes, we're not violent, we go to the range, we hunt, we target shoot. In order to disarm us, they needed a reason. And that reason is the violent crime in the streets. They're sacrificing these kids by having no consequences, and they're fueling the violence on purpose. I'm sorry to tell people that, but that's the truth. If anybody can prove me otherwise, I'd be happy to debate them.
Gary, I love what you brought up. I agree. And most people don't understand how important the Second Amendment is. They think it's like a byproduct and not that important. And it's critically important, but not just because of the final box of liberty, but people who are gun owners are by default more responsible. You're correct. And the data shows this. Licensed gun owners are less likely to commit a crime than non-licensed gun owners. So you're completely correct.
Well, we're less likely than the police. We have a lower crime rate than police. And yet we're the target of all these so-called gun laws. It's not about safety, because if it was, they would not allow people to have a lengthy, violent criminal history.
And if it were true, we wouldn't rank 30th out of 50. That's the issue.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. But Kathy Hochul's out there to keep us safe. They got another whole bunch of gun laws coming. And, of course, the
I
big
feel the
flaw in
love, Gary. I feel it.
The whole flaw in their reason is criminals don't obey your laws. So
that's kind of what makes them criminals.
Right out of the box.
Yes. Gary, thank you so much for the call, my friend. I really appreciate it. Thank you.
Have a great day.
So, yeah, I love that. I'm so stealing that. The last box of liberty. Oh, so good. I'm so using that. I'd forgotten the jury box. But Kim says the jury box is useless all across this country. It's probably why I forgot it, Kim. I think you're right. I thought there was 3. And then when he said jury, I'm like, that's the other one. But you're right. That's why I forgot. So it is kind of crazy. Leela says, bribing people to come there sounds unbelievable, but I believe you. Oh, if you remember, there was a famous one. A couple years back, Amazon was going to come to New York City. New York State was going to bribe them $2 billion. And they said no. I want to be clear. $2 billion. And they said no. So to come to New York City, they had to bribe them with $2 billion. And they still said no. Leela, if I promised to give you $2 billion, you'd move anywhere I told you to. So would I. If you were like, hey, Larry, here's $2 billion, move to Antarctica. I'd be like, I'm on my way. I'm packing warm. Let's do it. I wouldn't think twice. But they did $2 billion and said no. That's how bad this state is. So I know that sounds crazy, but the data is there. They had to bribe Micron, and they're even not doing well. Any case, so yes, the one thing we did well in, though, was fiscal stability, because that's off your back. But okay, now I know what you're saying. Okay, Larry, how about healthcare? We spend more money than anybody per capita on healthcare. So clearly, we got to be doing good on that one. We spend more than Florida, and Florida got a bunch of old people in it. So come on now. We got to be doing it on that one. Of course we are. And not just that. I mean, over 50% of New Yorkers are on Medicare, Medicaid. So they're all on government health care. And we got that Healthy New York thing. So it says Healthy New York. Healthy's in the name. It's got to be good, Larry. Come on. Well, actually, we rank 8th. You might go, Larry, we rank 8th. That sounds great. That means we have high healthcare quality. No. What it means is we rank very high because of, quote, public health. What does that mean? That means that people follow the rules and regulations. I'm not joking. When they went down like that healthcare quality, actual quality, we ranked 20th. So yeah, because we have a lot of people talking trash about stuff, that gives us a higher rank to 8. But when we look right at healthcare quality, 20th, back to mediocre. Mediocre healthcare quality with the most money spent. The one thing I'll give them is when it came to access, we were 14th. I mean, still garbage, but not bad, I guess, compared to everything else. That's one of our highest. So lots of people have access to poor quality healthcare. Now, here's the worst part. You might say, well, Larry, at least it's some access to some healthcare. True. You're not wrong. True. We have more access because we flood the zone with Medicare and Medicaid. So there's more access. True. Still 14th, and we spend the most. But the wealthiest people in New York, and if you know any of them, I do. I live in New York City. They don't go to Medicare and Medicaid doctors. They go to private doctors. And they spend big dollars on private doctors and get the best healthcare possible. So you have the highest healthcare possible. But we have mediocre healthcare total. That means we have a whole lot of bad healthcare too. Lots of access to bad healthcare. That should be New York's motto. What do you think? You can tell me. 585-346-3000. Larry Sharpe here on Sharpe Way Radio, the voice of liberty in amazing Western New York. Back with more of your calls and your chat. I see you after the break.
Calling Dr. Howard. Dr. Fine, Dr. Howard.
I thought you'd enjoy that. Thanks.
God bless America.
WYSL.
AM 1040 Avon, Rochester. WLEA WCKR FM Cornell.
Mayor John Buckley here. Join me for The Pulse, 1 p.m. weekends, right here on the Voice of Liberty.
Canisteo Valley Update.
The Hornell Common Council met last night. Mayor John Buckley announced that the Hornell Fire Department will now be providing ambulance, advanced life support, and basic life support to the Fremont Fire Department. Mayor John Buckley says Hornell will be subcontracting for the Fremont Fire Department. In other news, Alfred State College honored over 100 students at commencement ceremonies held recently at the Alfred State Northland campus up in Buffalo. Jennifer Noble, the Assistant Dean of the School of Applied Technology, presided over the ceremony. Lots of big speakers, including Alfred State College President Dr. Stephen Morrow, spoke at this event. I'm Brian O'Neill for the Voice of Liberty.
Here's the latest forecast from the News 10 NBC Weather Center for tonight. We'll have increasing clouds, not as cold. We'll stay in the mid-40s on Wednesday. Rain will be on the increase in the morning. Looks pretty wet in the afternoon. Temps in the 50s. Rain is likely on Thursday as well, with temps in the low 50s. Will be a little breezy and chilly right into Friday with some showers and temps around 50 degrees. I'm Rich Cadilia for the Voice of Liberty.
Enhance your outdoor space. Stop into Springwater Amish Workshop and explore the huge inventory of Amish-built exterior furniture, wood, poly, and hickory. Don't miss the Customer Appreciation Sale, May 19th to 24th only. Shop the selection of quality buildings at great discounts, extra dollars off for newly ordered storage sheds, gazebos, pavilions, or animal structures. All buildings come in a variety of styles and sizes, the best warranty of the business, and pricing includes free delivery within 40 miles of Springwater. Springwater Amish Workshop has a wide variety of mailboxes, birdhouses, feeders, and more. Register to win prizes like a blue and gray poly rocking chair, a poly dog bed with bed, or a chicken coop. Winner chooses size, no purchase necessary. Remember, the Customer Appreciation Sale is only May 19th to 24th. The weather's better, so enjoy a springtime drive. Springwater Amish Workshop, 7936 Mill Street, Route 15, Springwater. Open Monday through Friday, 9 to 5, Saturdays, 9 to 3.
Bratwurst, Bauernwurst, Kartoffelsalat, Sauerkraut, Leberkäse, Kirsche, Tort.
Hallo Leute und Veteranen. When I was stationed in Germany, time off was spent at the local festivals. People were friendly, the food was great, and the Hefeweizen waged a continuous battle against my waistline. Lima's annual German festival is Sunday, June 8th. This is as authentic as you can get. The food, the desserts, and the beer. A German festival run by real Germans. The festival opens at 11 a.m. and runs until 7 p.m. All veterans and active duty personnel get in for free. Arrive before 1 p.m. in time to see the American Legion carry in the colors. Take routes 5 and 20 between Lima and West Bloomfield. And follow the signs. Tell them Captain Falk sent you. Prost, Prost, Bundespost.
Bratwurst, Bauernwurst, Kartoffelsalat, Sauerkraut, Leberkäse, Kirsche, Tort. Bratwurst, Bauernwurst, Kartoffelsalat, Sauerkraut, Leberkäse, Kirsche, Tort.
Und Bier. As a roofing contractor, the shingle you recommend is important. As a certified GAF contractor, Callan only installs the GAF Timberline HDZ 50-year non-pro-rated roofing system with the industry's only unlimited wind warranty and a 25-year algae production. It's the most advanced GAF shingle, period. Call Callan Contracting at 585-813-2761 or visit their website, callancontracting.com. Mention WYSL and save 5% off roofing or gutters.
Do you have to have every fan in the house pointed right at you to stay cool?
Honey, we need help.
Call Taylor at 500-HELP. Are you wearing an ice pack on your head because your air conditioner quit?
Honey, we need help.
Call Taylor at 500-HELP. Taylor is always on call to help. So when an AC emergency happens, any time of the day or night,
honey, we need help.
You know what to do.
Call Taylor. 500 help.
Open Door Mission is deeply grateful. Because of your generous hearts, you've opened many doors, including restored healthy relationships for those on the road to lifelong recovery. With your continued help, more doors will open. Please go to opendoormission.com.
Here comes the bloom. Celebrate spring with a brilliant car of annuals. Everything you need for your gardens and beds. Farm fresh produce too. 7 days a week at J&A Farm Market and Greenhouses. Route 15 just south of exit 9 off 390. J&A, always blooming.
Sharpe Way Radio on the Voice of Liberty.
Oh, yes, it is Larry Sharpe here on Sharpe Way Radio, the voice of liberty in the amazing Western New York. 585-346-3000. I have been talking about New York, as I often do, my state that I do love. And I know I tease, but I tease because I love, because I know this state is a beautiful state with everything you could want in it. And it is being and has been destroyed by a terrible government. That's the problem. It isn't the people. It's the government. It's the environment. And I mean the social environment, not the physical environment, the social environment. And why do I say that? Okay. I remember, and you do too, I know you do, former President Joe Biden, he told us that he was going to be the infrastructure guy. Remember that? He made that thing build back better. Remember that? I do. He told us he was going to build all kinds of things. I remember Cuomo before he left for grabbing people's butts, not for killing old people. He got away with that one. Totally fine. But he's grabbing people's butts. And that's way worse in New York than killing old people. Way worse. So kill old people? Whatevs. Grab someone's butt? You done. You were done. So he left for that. About to be the mayor of New York City, sadly. So you can grab butts and get booted out. You can kill people, still be mayor. Okay, that's
You're on. Go ahead. There you go.
okay. Sorry, I could not hear my engineer. Now I can hear my engineer. I'm good. I apologize, guys. So, yes. What I was saying is we came in at 34th, and coming in at 34th, you might say, wait a minute. That's impossible. We have built so much. But in reality, energy, 36th. On top of that, internet, 26th. And on top of that, transportation, 32nd. Nothing but bad. But they've told us that, oh my God, we're going to be so great. Nothing but bad. All this money being spent, all these dollars being thrown in, and still nothing. And still nothing. This is the most embarrassing piece that we've had is infrastructure. But let me go to the next piece. And that's natural environment. And you might say, well, Larry, if we're not going to have good energy and not going to have good transportation and not going to have any of that, no worries. At least we'll have a good natural environment. And in reality, not bad. We came in 6th. 6th is not bad. New York State is beautiful. I'll give you that. We have very good air and water quality compared to other places. Part of that's RFK Jr. Absolutely. Part of that is, us not shutting down all of our energy. That's why we're so low energy, because we buy all our energy now, so we don't make anything. So I guess part that. And of course, no manufacturing, so part that. So we've got a good environment, and I'm okay with that. I'm actually proud of that part of us. I'm proud of New York, that we have absolutely very beautiful state. I am. I'm happy about that. The bad part is I am concerned that if we spend all of our time not building infrastructure, not building education, not having health care, the most important part is people are leaving. People are leaving my state. That is the hardest part. That is the piece that no matter what else you say or do, no matter how you act, no matter what else you say, it does not matter. People are leaving the state. Not just that. We're leaving the state at the highest level of all of the states. Number one more time to be clear. We gained almost 200,000 migrants last year. Some of you are very unhappy about that. I get it. But with that, you say, well, great. At least we gained people. So that's, that part's good, right, Larry? We gained some people. That part's good, right? No, we still lost 100,000 people last year. So let me say it again. Literally, we gained 200,000 migrants. And with that, we still lost 100,000 people. That means we lost 300,000 people. Gone. How are we going to pay that debt? Remember that whole fiscal stability thing I told you about? That has to be on the back of the taxpayer? Well, we lost 300,000 taxpayers. According to the IRS, we've lost $20 billion due to migration. Just for that. We lost $20 billion just from migration. Wow. But Kathy Hochul, she's great. She's fighting for us. That's what she told me. She's fighting hard. She's proud. She's making us safe. All those things that she talked about. And before her, Cuomo, he was doing it too. He was building all the stuff. Remember? He told us that. Then he grabbed some butts. Got removed. But he's back, baby. He is coming to New York City. Now, you thought to yourself, you said, hey, Larry, come on. Cuomo was bad. But it couldn't be worse with Hochul. Then Hochul came in. And you went, man, okay, maybe I made a mistake on that one. Maybe it can be worse. But it can't be worse than Hochul, can it? How about Hochul and Cuomo? How about that? Now I know some of you just threw up a little bit in your mouth. I know. I should have told you to get a bucket before I said that. But yes, This is how bad this state is. That our bench, our list of people who are going to come save us includes the butt grabber, the grandma killer himself, Cuomo. He's back. He is back. Next month, there will be a primary here in New York City. The odds are insanely high that he'll be winning that primary. And when he wins that primary, we will have both Hochul and Cuomo. Do you understand the problems that we are in? Now, here's the worst part about what I just told you about. The worst part about this report is that it isn't like some fringe person or someone who hates Cuomo or someone who hates Hochul or something like that. This isn't like some right-wing think tank that's trying to get rid of the Dems or something. It's U.S. News and World Report. This is basically the mainstream of mainstream. If this may be like the Heritage Foundation, okay, maybe you could say, all right, it's a hit piece or something. I mean, maybe. It's not that. It is literally U.S. News and World Report. And the last part I'll bring up here, the end of this, is opportunity. The most important piece for America. The most important piece for New York State. We will put up with all types of garbage if we believe we have good opportunities. What do we rank? Out of 50. 49th. Yes. 49th in opportunity. And we see it everywhere. If this state was broken as it was, but everyone had the opportunity, they would stay. It used to be, you would come to New York to be somebody. That was the thing. I got to go be somebody. I'm going to New York so I can go be somebody. Now you leave New York to be somebody. That's a problem. That's not what I want to see. That is the worst part of our state. I need opportunity. We all do. Maybe you think I'm crazy. Let me know. 585-346-3000. Larry Sharpe, Sharpe Radio, on the Voice of Liberty. Back with your calls and your chat after the break.
Donald Trump and conservatives may have won, but you know the left will unceasingly try to undermine society and
They're both connected now.
especially our
Yeah, and actually, I don't know what happened. You must have lost internet or something there because all of a sudden you were disconnected. Then I reconnected you, and then I was trying to talk to you, and I forgot that this one was muted. I didn't realize that the other one had gone away as well, so I had to reestablish that. But all's good now. You're welcome.
If you're looking to market and grow your business, make new business connections, and give back to the community in a meaningful way, consider joining the Greece Regional Chamber. We are the largest suburban chamber in Monroe County, and we offer networking, education, marketing, insurance, and advocacy. You do not need to live or work in Greece to join. Our members come from throughout the region. In short, we are better together, and together we can move your business forward. Visit greecechamber.org or call 585-227-7272 to join today. You'll be glad you did.
Avon Gun and Hunting Supply, a locally owned and operated gun shop specializing in pre-owned firearms and repairs.
Okay, we have Keith on the line. Then after Keith, we'll have Roger.
From 10 a.m. Tuesday through Saturday.
You're welcome.
Avon Gun, East Main Street, next to Tompkins Community Bank.
Sharpe Radio on the Voice of Liberty.
Hey, it is Larry Sharpe on Sharpe Radio on the Voice of Liberty in West New York. So happy that you're giving me a small chunk of your afternoon. I have been talking about this U.S. News and World Report that shows New York State at best mediocre and in some of the most important pieces far below the median. And we spend the most money. It is a big problem, even in affordability. 45th in affordability. Nothing but problems. Let me grab some calls if I could. This is Keith. How are you, sir?
I'm okay. Hopefully you and your family likewise. I have a fast question and comment. You mentioned correctly the infrastructure not getting built. What about the new Bills Stadium?
Two more calls after Keith.
What did they do there differently from other projects to bring that around? And the answer to all of that you've been talking about this hour, to bring in the sports fans, and I've said this to them, if you care just 10% about what's going on in the country and the world at large as you do your precious Bills and everything else, these sports fans, I wish they would get involved. They love their Buffalo Bills, and training camp begins next month, June. But a lot of these sports fans, they just will not put in the involvement and activity that they do in their sports teams. And if they would just pay attention, a lot of this, hopefully through citizen action, would get taken care of.
Well, I think they kind of do. And hear me out on this one. What they often do is they simply pick their political team. They go, well, I'm a Republican or I'm Democrat, and therefore it doesn't matter who's actually running. I'm just going to vote for my team. I would argue that people who are sports fans, and I'm a Yankee fan, and I love the Yankees, no matter who's on the team. It doesn't matter. It's like if you're a Catholic, you're going to follow the Pope, no matter who the Pope is. Well, it's like a religion, I guess. I'm a Yankee fan. I like the Yankees, no matter who's on. So I think a lot of people are similar to that with their political teams. Well, I'm a Republican, so whoever's a Republican, I vote for. Well, I'm a Democrat, whoever's Democrat, I vote for. I would argue that in the way they do it, Keith. Am I wrong?
Well, when I was trying to push it, I was just trying to get people interested and to give the same attention that, because I really zero in on
the same attention. I misunderstood you, Keith. I'm sorry.
If they would pay attention to politics and what you've been talking about, the downfall of the former Empire State, if they would give that attention and concern that they give to the precious Bills, a lot of people here in Western New York would know better what's going on, but they don't pay attention, and a lot of these Bills fans could care less about what you're talking about.
I misunderstood you, Keith. I misunderstood. I agree with you. I think it's much easier to pay attention to the Bills than it is to pay attention to political bills. I completely agree with you. And I think if we spent more time in it, we would have a whole lot more people involved and better outcomes. Agreed. Thank you for the call, Keith. I appreciate it.
Bye.
Let me grab another call if I could. This is Roger. Roger, how are you, sir?
Hello?
Yep, I hear you.
Can you hear me? All right, so I just got a call. I was going to say a lot, so I'm just going to say a little bit. What do you call it? So we're number one in income inequality still.
After him, we have Mike.
So that's a very important thing that was missed on there. Number two, if you're going, you said Utah, Minnesota, Idaho, Nebraska, and some other state you said.
New Hampshire.
New Hampshire. If you're going to move somewhere, move to Nebraska. Out of all of them.
Why Nebraska?
Number one, even though Idaho and that other state, Utah, are ballot initiative states like Nebraska, they're only ballot initiative states for laws, which means you pass an initiative, the government can overturn it without having to ask you. Nebraska allows you to do amendments also, which means if the government don't like what you ratified, they have to ask you first before repealing it or changing it around to weaken it. Also, Nebraska, just like how North Dakota has a public bank, Nebraska has state power. Publicly owned and operated power. Its uptime is like 99.99%. It's cheap. It's efficient. They had it since 1931.
I like it, Roger. Thank you for your call, brother. I appreciate it. Yeah, look, Roger's talking about the citizen ballot initiatives. I agree. I like Nebraska. I think all the top 5 states.
Mike.
That's where they are. Let me grab one more call if I could. This is Mike. Mike, How are you, sir?
Hey, Larry. You know, the common theme of everything is money. Okay?
Yes.
In New York State, who controls the money? Who controls the politicians? Okay? We have a certain population in New York State, which is the highest in the country, at 20% of the people that control the money in our politicians. Okay?
Okay, I'm missing it. What do you mean?
Well, we have a certain segment of the population, okay, who controls, for instance, the pension plan, okay, the Black Rocks, the State Streets. Look to see who the CEOs are, okay?
Oh, I see where you're going.
Okay.
Okay, took me a couple seconds.
Apex controls 90% of all politicians, Democrats and Republicans.
Okay, all right,
Okay.
Hold on. If that's true, APAC controls most of the politicians. In fact, most of the Republican politicians for sure, right? But Democrats too. Nebraska's run by Republicans. Utah's run by Republicans. I don't know. Why doesn't APAC wreck those states too then?
Demographics, okay, New York State has 20% of this one of the three Abraham religions.
Is it really 20%?
Okay? 20% of the whole of the country. 1.7 million compared to Israel at 7.2 million.
I don't know. There may be some propaganda going there. I'm not sure. I'm not. That seems a little high to me. But maybe. Okay, I'm not going to fight you. I don't have the date on it.
And also point out the other facts of your five top. What is in common of the other the five top states? Utah,
New Hampshire, Idaho, Minnesota, Nebraska.
Is the demographics. Look to see the demographics. Just saying.
Oh, you're making this about demographics.
Well, yeah.
All right, so let me give pushback then.
Demographics.
Hold on, let me give pushback then. A similar demographic state, New York State, is Florida. Florida has a very high concentration of the Abrahamic religion people you don't want to say. Has a very high population of those also. It has a very similar demographic when it comes to people who are not white, very similar. It has a similar population, meaning numbers, as 20 million, we have like 18, so similar, but doesn't have the same problems. Did I lose you?
No, I'm still here. No, I'm looking at your other states. Well, there again, if you look at Florida politics in the last couple years, okay, where they've had a mass migration of the ones from New York State have more moved down to Florida. Okay, their politics are slowly changing too. Before it was a real conservative state.
Maybe I am up against a hard break, Mike. I appreciate the call. I like the back and forth. I appreciate it, guys. I want to say thank you so much for giving me a chunk of your afternoon. I will see you all very soon.